Self sabotage, post JEE means, auto mutilation. There are seeds of self destruction in all of us that will bear only unhappiness if allowed to grow. A toxic classmate, I don't want to take his name, told me that students generally put aside their preparation for a while post JEE means. I used to think all such comments by toxic people don't affect me at all. But if someone demotivates you persistently for a long time, it can deeply affect anyone. In addition to this, I had messed up with my JEE Mains final exam. I was devastated and had lost faith in hard work. I stopped studying for JEE further. I would get horrendous reminiscence of the onslaughts inflicted by my school teachers on me and negligence of my coaching towards my caliber. I cursed myself and my destiny for being so much directionless, taking so many wrong decisions, and unknowingly throwing myself into hardships over and over throughout my JEE preparation. Moreover, I had no one to count upon who could understand my problem. I was shattered from within. I started mutilating myself and perhaps all my good habits. My daily schedule would be waking up at 9 a.m. without much vigor. Then I would reluctantly do some light study. I had given myself into that unwithstandable stress. I was watching things happening to me, watching myself ruining my own hard work and doing nothing about it. I even went on a watch explicit content and started practicing onanism after that. Thereafter, I would call my friend Darpan home and we would go to play cricket every day. I played there until it was dusk. After that, I would come back home totally sopping with sweat. I would take a bath in the evening and then collapse into the bed, depleted of even a trace of energy. Then I used to watch TV until my eyes were open and sleep in oblivion for 9 to 10 hours a day. Such declined I had become. I had lost all self respect. Remarks. These are instances when we tend to sabotage all our hard work and ourselves just before we are about to reach our goals. We let these disabling thoughts creep in. These thoughts take away our ability to think in the direction of solution. Confronted with obstacles and setbacks, a person sometimes becomes pathetically hopeless, sometimes even without reason. He is rendered in self doubt. When encountered with self doubt, doubt yourself again like this. If I am truly incapable, I must be this much incapable that I cannot judge myself correctly whether I am capable or not. Speaking frankly, everyone is wrong. We must recognize that just like us, everyone else is wrong and clueless. Some people just fake their perfection well. We should admit that being wrong to an extent is completely appropriate with each passing day. We should strive to be we should strive to become less wrong. Dusting myself off for JEE Advance. The finishing touch. If you learn from defeat, you haven't really lost. The declined schedule went on for 30 days. Almost all of April 2016 got ruined. Now, in the month of May, I realized that my JEE Advance exam was approaching thereupon. I corrected myself back to reality. I admitted to myself. I have had an excellent preparation in those 4 months. Staying out of touch with syllabus due to boards and the past wasted month have made me forget many things. I still possess that knowledge which is sufficient enough to get me a remarkable rank when if I perform my worst in the final exam. All I have to do is revising everything so that I can readily use my concepts again. I made another plan for the next 20 days. I picked up my scooty and got myself the previous year papers, not previous year questions. Alternatively, I solved a paper from that book starting from 2015, then 2014, 2013, and so on. Then again, I started studying for more than 12 13 hours a day. The moment I started taking interest back in studies, I started feeling good about myself. I regained my self respect for the last 30 days. I had been living in guilt, but now I was doing the best I could do at the moment. One mistake I made, however, was staying in AC for almost all of the day in the scorching month of May. I revised all my syllabus according to the plan and finally went to attempt the final exam. Another mistake was that our board result came just the day before JEE Advance. So I stayed distracted whole day in receiving congratulations from everyone. I should rather have not seen that results for one more day. Remarks. You remember how hopeless I had become in the previous chapter? I was not preparing, rather doing the opposite of what I was supposed to do. I didn't even want to prepare for the exam due to my hurt. But did this mean that my exam wouldn't happen on 22nd May 2016? Would I not go to the exam center to take the exam? In the end, I had to come back to my preparation. But my deceived and overwhelmed mind was blind to see this in the previous 30 days. Ultimately, I had to come back to preparation, although I had regret for wasting those 30 precious days, but I didn't let the regret paralyze me any further. Cheating in JEE Advance. We were summoned to the examination center at 7 a.m., even when the exam was at 9 a.m. We indeed had to sit idle. A thought sprung to my mind: can someone, if at all, copy someone else's paper in JEE Advance? The next moment I realized the selection ratio of JEE Mains to JEE Advance is 20 is to 1. I thought that means from 20 students in this hall, only one will get selected. That one definitely has to be myself. How can I top from this room if I copy someone else's paper? Hence, I concluded cheating is not at all good idea in JEE Advance. Remarks. No matter however unfair it seems, but most people fail. If you will try to copy the herd, you are destined to fail no matter what. No matter what. The ultimate JEE Advance attempt. The day of judgment. Expect the best, prepare for the worst, capitalize on what comes. Finally, it was May 22nd, the day of JEE Advance. The exam I had been preparing for with all my might. I had regained back my faith that even though I would perform my worst today, I would be far above the cutoff. Now I had fulfilled all that was needed for excelling in this exam. What was left? Nothing. It was, however, not that simple. It was the scorching month of May in Delhi. As I wrote earlier, I had spent the last 20 days in 24 by 7 in the air conditioner, but at the venue there was no air conditioner. I shouldn't have made myself accustomed to the AC, but I had thought it would be beneficial for my productivity. Nonetheless, I didn't have much problem in the first hour. I saw on the paper that there was something called as partial marking, which was a totally new format for me. Somehow, due to panic, I didn't pay attention to that marking policy. Anyways, I began with physics as usual. Finding some solvable questions of physics, I was trying to set my feet up in the exam. I went forward and solved only the simplest problems one by one. The morning was mild, but as it approached 10 a.m., it became unbearable. I got drenched in sweat. When I asked for water, they gave me ice chilled water, which was further worsening to the situation. I was getting distracted. Again, those horrible memories started turbulently flooding in my mind. This time, even severer than Jamin's. The same teachers' assaults, classmates' demotivating remarks, the misguidings of street engineers, and so much more. These thoughts were bitter. I was feeling like crying in the hall and leave the exam. I would start solving any question, read it, and then my mind would go blank all of a sudden. Then I would have to read it again. Sometimes I would forget again what was in the question. The more I was screwing up the paper, the more such thoughts I got. It created such a vicious cycle of panic. Despite all this, I did possess knowledge and skill, so I didn't stop solving the problems. I thoroughly knew that every question I solved is adding 4 marks to my result. But I knew I couldn't escape. This was the one and only chance of cracking JEE. I kept persisting regardless of how torturous it was. Somehow near 10:45 I got a nosebleed. For once I thought of letting the blood flow because I didn't have time. I wiped the blood off with my handkerchief, but ultimately I had to rush towards the washroom. I washed the sweat and blood off my face. That coolness of water provided a momentary relief. At once I didn't feel like returning to the examination room. Nonetheless, I slowly walking I slowly walked towards the room. I was dreadfully worried about the time wasted so far in the exam. To this, I again started thinking of reasons. Again and again, the vague faces of all those peoples flashed to my mind. I persisted till the end of the paper, one and finished up whatever I could do. Then come our break from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. I mistakenly again sat in the air conditioned car which my father had arranged. Furthermore, I had chole bhature as a snack in the break, which was sleep inducing. Even though the break was supposed to be for 2 hours, we were summoned an hour earlier only for the comfort of management. I went back to the paper too, a similar story. In total, first, the heat dreadfully bothered me. Second, the assaults of the past had a severe effect on my performance. Third, due to panic, I couldn't even figure out how to use partial marking effectively. I didn't mark even one option in which I had doubts. If it had been 2015, you would have got -2 for that, whereas partial marking could get you 1 mark for every right answer. The habit of AC was miserable. Fifth, the paper was most difficult of all the papers of JEE Advanced till date. I finally exited the exam hall after the literally blood and sweat battle. It was all finished, the official end of my JEE preparation. I could feel that freedom. I was in any case sure that I would be in IIT. No matter how it went, it was the end. I was expecting a rank near 2000 to 3000. I calculated my marks again through unofficial answer key after returning home as 223 by 372. On a side note, my final marks came out to be 224 upon 372. Hereupon, one teacher predicted my rank to be under 1000. A few days later, another teacher claimed that it would be under 700. Then a website showed it to be 450 and another site showed 300. I got such a high rank despite only 60% marks because paper indeed was hardest than ever before. After the JEE preparation was officially over and I was sure I would get a respectable rank in any case, I was carefree and merry. There was nothing to be worried about. I had sorted it all. I started watching Mahabharat on Hotstar entire day. It was my favorite. Remarks. Due to lack of authentic mentorship and abundant misguidance, I remained undeveloped in many aspects. I didn't get enough time to master everything, especially the emotional strength. Don't let it happen to you. I couldn't get the best out of my capabilities. Had there been genuine guidance, these problems wouldn't have arisen in the first place.